11 an I-team investigation into the use of police force. These men and women are some of the people who were punched in the face by Newport police. Now, a blow to the head is rare because police generally consider it a no-strike zone.
The I-team examined hours of body cam video that shows that use of force. And Chief Investigative Reporter Craig Cheatham not only has the recordings for you tonight, he also has the chief's reaction.
The pursuit of law and order in Newport has prompted a small group of police officers to repeatedly punch people in the face.
That's when he was punching me, that I couldn't guard my face or nothing.
Punch me in the face?
Yes, I did. You're under arrest. Put your hands behind your back. Come on, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Just put them back. Get on the ground.
When do you think it's appropriate for a police officer to punch someone in the face?
It's never appropriate for them. That's a no-strike zone. But if he's trying to, and if he's actively fighting the guy, I don't know what other means that he has, short of backing up off of him and taking a chance for both of them to get hurt worse.
The Night on Your Side I-Team reviewed police use of force incidents provided by 32 local law enforcement agencies. Force used by the Newport Police Department stands out.
If you really look at numbers, I think you're going to find out that we do a heck of a job keeping these guys accountable to this community.
The I-Team looked at a lot of numbers. 4% of about 2,500 total local use of force incidents involve an officer striking a person in the head or neck. In 1 out of every 5 of those cases, a Newport officer delivered the blow, more than double the incidents by any other department.
Want to check you out, man?
He hit me pretty hard.
Thomas Williams was tackled and punched 4 or 5 times by Newport Police Detective Robert Sewell in July of last year. Sewell said Williams resisted arrest and tried to get away.
He did what he needed to do to get the guy in compliance at the time.
Williams had stolen less than $50 worth of Tide Pods detergent packs and told a Newport sergeant he believed the force was excessive.
I wasn't fighting or anything like that.
You don't have to fight, man. You know what? We can use a reasonable amount of force to stop you, okay? If he pushed you on the ground, you hit your face on rocks, would that be any different? No, probably not.
Back up. You're under arrest.
5 months ago, Officer Steve Linville shoved and repeatedly punched Marcus Godfrey.
Put your hands behind your back. Come on, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest. You're under arrest. Just put them back. Get on the...
Linville said he feared for his safety and that Godfrey resisted arrest. In all, Linville hit Godfrey up to 10 times.
He punched him. I'm not denying that, and I'm not denying that isn't proper. No one's denying that.
But when we pressed Chief Collins on why he considered Linville's use of force justified at the time and signed off on it, he appeared to defend Linville's actions.
He was told he was under arrest, right?
Right.
Okay. And so at that point, are you allowed to tense up and resist the police?
If someone tenses up, are you allowed to punch them in the face and the ribs up to 10 times?
You're wanting to be argumentative. I'm not wanting an argument with you. That's not what this is about.
The Godfrey incident was the 8th time Officer Linville had delivered at least one blow to someone's head since January 2016, the most head strikes by a Cincinnati area officer.
You're under arrest.
On a wild September night last year, Officer Linville squared off with Matthew Campbell. Linville punched him in the face, then zapped him twice with a stun gun. 7 minutes later, Linville raced to a crowd of innocent bystanders.
Anybody else? Go!
He's young, and he's got to learn. But you know what? Some guys may never learn. So I'd want to keep it in just generality. Some people may never learn.
According to Newport Police use of force records, only once did a suspect strike Officer Linville before he hit them. Hugo Aguilar had a broken eye socket and 2 broken ribs after getting repeatedly punched last year by Linville and Officer Chris Boyd. The use of force report says Boyd punched Aguilar in the side several times. Linville delivered 4 knee strikes to his face. Chief Collins determined the force was justified. he said he couldn't discuss the incident because related cases are still active.
That's right where you're going to go.
Newport's use of force reports typically say officers may only use the amount of force reasonably necessary for self-protection, to overcome resistance, prevent escape, or to control a situation.
Let's go!
Jeffrey Alpert, who taught at the FBI National Academy and conducts research on high-risk policing behaviors, told the I-Team head strikes are always a bad idea unless deadly use of force is justified.
I don't think you stuttered, pumpkin. Get in the car.
Alpert said it really boils down to, can you use verbal skills?
I was making sure my man... Okay, well, guess what? When the police come, you don't need to worry about your man.
And he says, if you can, did you?
Walk down the street pretty easy. We're busy here.
And if you don't,
One person at a time!
Alpert says, then that's a problem.
He's got to take the taser probe out, smartass. Okay? Knock it off.
Chief Collins says he won't tolerate unnecessary force.
Yeah, you pointed out it looks like a pretty strong, case for what you say. And I told you when we talked on the phone, I agree. None of this is satisfactory with me.
Collins is celebrating his 10th year as the Newport police chief. He insists he has everything under control. Since January 2016, Officer Linville has nearly half the Newport Police Department's head strikes. Linville had 8 of those incidents, which is higher than 30 local police departments reported for their entire force. In 5 of the 8 Linville cases, the suspects were convicted of resisting arrest. 2 of those suspects were convicted of assaulting an officer. 3 got sentenced to at least a year in jail. Mr. Aguilar was convicted of disorderly conduct charges. Charges against Marcus Godfrey were dismissed.